Are you tired of feeling like your money disappears the moment you earn it? That was my life. Constant overspending, mounting stress, and a sense of being trapped. But everything changed when I embraced frugal living. In this video, I'll share my journey of how I stopped overspending, regained control of my finances, and discovered the freedom I never thought possible. Stick around because I'll also reveal the surprising mindset shift that made it all click for me. Why overspending feels impossible to stop. Overspending isn't just about bad habits. It's often tied to emotions, advertising pressure, and the desire to keep up with others. For years, I was caught in that cycle. No matter how much I earned, I always seemed to run out of money. Frugal living wasn't just a financial decision, it was a lifestyle transformation. It helped me take control, prioritize what mattered, and free myself from the weight of financial stress. In this video, I'll break down the steps I took to stop overspending and embrace frugal living. If you've ever felt like you'll never get ahead, these strategies can help you find the same freedom I did. 1. I identified my spending triggers. The first step to stopping overspending was figuring out why I was doing it. I realized my spending was often emotional. Stress, boredom, or the need to treat myself were my biggest triggers. What I did, I kept a spending journal for 1 month. Writing down not just what I spent but why I spent it. Patterns emerged. Late night online shopping when I was tired, splurging on takeout after a stressful day, or buying things just because they were on sale. How it helped. Understanding my triggers helped me replace overspending with healthier habits, like going for a walk when I felt stressed or making a budget-friendly treat at home. 2. I created a realistic budget that worked for me. Budgeting didn't come naturally to me, but I realized it was essential. Instead of seeing it as restrictive, I reframed it as a tool to help me prioritize what mattered. What I did, I used the 50/30/20 rule. 50% of my income for essentials like rent, groceries, and bills. 30% for wants, but only those I truly valued. 20% for savings and debt repayment. I tracked every expense to see where my money was going and adjusted my budget monthly. Why it worked? Having a clear plan gave me permission to spend on what I loved while cutting back on things I didn't need. 3. I stopped comparing myself to others. A huge part of my overspending came from trying to keep up with friends or influencers on social media. I felt like I needed the latest gadgets, trendy clothes, or luxurious vacations to fit in. What I did, I unfollowed accounts that made me feel the need to spend unnecessarily. I focused on my own goals instead of worrying about what others were doing. I reminded myself that true happiness isn't found in material things but in meaningful experiences. The result? I stopped spending money to impress others and started using it to build a life that made me happy. 4. I embraced the power of no. Learning to say no, to myself and others, was a game changer. I realized that every yes to unnecessary spending was a no to my bigger goals. What I did, I practiced saying no to invitations or activities that didn't align with my budget. For example, instead of eating out with friends multiple times a week, I suggested budget-friendly alternatives like potlucks or free outdoor activities. I stopped impulse buying by waiting 24 hours before making any purchase. Why it worked? Saying no felt empowering because it gave me control over my finances and aligned my spending with my values. 5. I found joy in simplicity. Overspending often comes from the belief that more stuff equals more happiness. Frugal living taught me the opposite. What I did, I started appreciating simple, free joys like walking in nature, spending time with loved ones, or pursuing hobbies like reading and cooking. I decluttered my home, realizing that having less made me feel lighter and more content. How it helped? By focusing on experiences instead of things, I saved money and found greater happiness. 6. I built a savings safety net. One of the biggest stresses of overspending is the lack of savings. Frugal living helped me prioritize building a safety net. What I did, I started small, saving $10 to $20 a week in a high-yield savings account. I automated my savings so I wouldn't be tempted to skip it. Once I had an emergency fund, I started saving for specific goals like travel or investing. The impact: having savings gave me peace of mind and reduced the urge to overspend out of fear of missing out. 7. I used a cash-only rule for non-essentials. Credit cards made it too easy to overspend, so I switched to a cash-only rule for discretionary spending. How it worked: I withdrew a set amount of cash each week for non-essential expenses. Once the cash was gone, I couldn't spend any more until the next week. Why it worked: using cash made me more mindful of my spending and helped me stick to my budget. 8. I learned to cook and meal plan. Takeout and dining out were some of my biggest expenses. Learning to cook was a frugal living skill that changed everything. What I did: I started meal planning, focusing on simple, budget-friendly recipes. I cooked in bulk and froze leftovers to save time and money. How it helped: cooking at home not only saved me hundreds of dollars a month but also became a fun, creative outlet. 9. I focused on long-term goals over short-term ones. One of the most freeing parts of frugal living was shifting my mindset from instant gratification to long-term fulfillment. What I did: I wrote down my financial goals, like paying off debt, saving for a down payment, or retiring early. Whenever I was tempted to overspend, I reminded myself of these goals. Why it worked: focusing on my goals gave me the motivation to stick to my budget and make smarter financial choices. 10. I celebrated my progress. Frugal living isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment. Along the way, I learned to celebrate the small wins. What I did: I rewarded myself for milestones, like paying off a credit card or hitting a savings goal. I reflected on how far I'd come and the freedom I'd gained. The result: celebrating progress kept me motivated and reminded me that every step, no matter how small, was worth it. Conclusion: frugal living is freedom. Stopping overspending wasn't easy, but it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Frugal living gave me the tools to take control of my finances, align my spending with my values, and find freedom from financial stress. If you're feeling trapped by overspending, remember that small changes can lead to big transformations. Start with one tip from this video and see how it changes your life. Which strategy will you try first? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's ready to embrace the freedom of frugal living.